Hello, and welcome to another episode of Weird World Weekly, a production of Galactic Netcasts. I'm Dave Nelson, and as always, joining me from Wisconsin in the USA, Mr. Matt Stein. Hey, Matt.
I just realized you were wearing a Canada shirt.
Yes, I am.
Damn Canuck.
And it's more orange than it actually is. Like on the video, it looks a lot more orange than it's a lot redder than it looks.
Well, it's pretty red from here.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Maybe my monitor sucks more than your monitor does.
Both of mine are two very different colors, so.
Okay, all right.
You're red.
Well, welcome back, Matt. Are you ready to talk more paranormal, mythological, conspiratorial, or hang on, wait for it. Here we go. What is it again?
Grab big.
Yes. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I brought those back because I thought that you would like it. So there you go. We'll start using those again from now on. Of course, this is the podcast where we do talk about anything that fits the weird, unusual, strange, unexplained category, like the paranormal, mythological, conspiratorial, or anything else that fits. And we deliver one story in 15 minutes or less. And how we pick the story that we're going to talk about per episode is we have this wheel, we spin it, and on the wheel is our stories, and whatever the wheel stops on, that's the story that we talk about. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
I'm so proud of myself.
You should be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. I don't know why you're all sad, but it's all right, buddy.
Hey, by the way, you were out in the neighborhood tonight doing something, right? You had a neighborhood gathering of some kind?
Yeah, our weird block party every year that I feel obligated to go to.
Is that part of National Night Out or something like that?
Yeah, they do it on National Night Out, but it's just our street. And there's a bunch of streets around that do it, but still it's weird. Because I'm not chummy with my neighbors. Like, I know them well enough that if one of their houses were on fire, I would probably help them out.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go mow their lawn just because.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
And it's weird that it's a weekday night because you usually associate, neighborhood or block parties with, some celebratory drinking of some kind.
Which there was none. Like, I don't even drink at these just because no one else does, and I want it to be weird. And we're working on moving, so like half the reason we went was because we won't be here for next year's. So I was like, okay. I feel really obligated to go.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Our stories this time around to pick from are terrifying places haunted by the ghosts of brutal violence. Family flees $1.3 million home over watcher threats. You may have heard about that in the news. Bone-chilling urban legends, a field guide to cryptids from Europe and Africa, the 5 best and 5 worst demons to get possessed by. So if you get possessed, these are the ones that you do and don't want to be possessed by. And finally, Lizard Man caught on film. Are you ready to spin the wheel, Matt?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's do that and find out what we'll be talking about in this episode. Here we go. All right, slowing down. We're about to find out the story that we'll be telling you about. All right. Oh, terrifying places haunted by the ghosts of brutal violence. So let's start the timer. 15 minutes or less. Here we go. Let's have some fun here. Talk about brutal violence. Okay, so I've got 3. You still there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
All right, sorry. I don't have the Hangout as the
Oh,
main front window, so I can read. So when you're quiet for any length of time, I think maybe you're gone or I pissed you off or something like that.
I will never leave you.
Thanks.
I'm in your bushes right now.
All right, that's kind of scary. Okay, so here's the first one. It's Dead Children's Playground. Dead Children's Playground. Nestled on the edge of Maple Hill Cemetery in Huntsville, Alabama, is a small playground, and when the clock strikes 10 on a dead calm night, the rusty swings creak to life, slides groan under unseen weight, and unearthly giggles sound over the over the still cemetery grounds. Scary.
I like how it's nestled. Like they've decided to use nestled as like the adjective as to how this thing sits. Like when I think of nestled, it's like, oh, this. And going back to the fact that I do nothing but look at houses because my wife forces me to, but it's like this house nestled in the woods. Like, oh, it's a little cemetery just nestled in Alabama.
It's a good descriptive word, and what they're doing there is they're lulling you into a sense of peace and calm and security, right? And then they're going to unleash it. The dead children playing on the playground.
Yeah.
Okay, here is why this is happening. A couple of stories as to the origin of this. One states that the souls of children buried in Maple Hill Cemetery are frolicking in the playground. The other has it that Alabama's Madison County went through a rash of child abductions in the early 1960s. The children were later found discarded in the playground. So they were taken and then discarded in the playground. But the perp was never caught. Nobody's ever claimed to have been attacked by the apparitions, although visitors often leave with stories of, what's that word? Can you say that word?
I gotta find it now. I wasn't paying attention to the doc, Dave.
It's Ephemeral. Ephemeral?
I think so.
Okay. Ephemeral lights floating around the playground, the spirits of the ghost kids. You know, that I got an idea. If you don't have a play partner, just go to the playground by yourself and wham bam, you've got some kids to play with. They're just hanging out there waiting for you.
A, that's strange. B, it appears that the ephemeral lights are similar to orbs.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of pictures on the link that's in there.
That's a common orbs are a common occurrence when it comes to spiritual activity and hauntings.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you ready to move on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the next place haunted by the ghosts of brutal violence is the Baker Hotel in Mineral Wells, Texas, the once opulent getaway for the rich and famous. Hard times forced the Baker to close its doors in 1972. Since then, it's become something of a local icon, spurred in part by the tales of the ghosts that walk its halls. The usual suspects include a woman in white who took a dive off the hotel's roof and an aura of suffering and disease in several of the rooms. Now, how do you tell if there's an aura of suffering and disease? How do you...
like, I don't know how. Like, I feel like it's something you just feel, or some people just feel, and suffering and disease is just, I don't know. Like, you walk into a room and people will be like, oh, this just feels wrong. You just walk into there and it feels like suffering and disease, I guess, is my
feeling. Maybe a feeling of dread, possibly.
Yeah, you just feel sad.
Yeah. Okay. Also, a weeping old woman in a wheelchair wailing the phrase, "I can't do it," over and over again. Plans are underway to restore the dying hotel to its former glory. So maybe the specters will calm down a little and just learn to enjoy themselves soon. I doubt it.
They'll get the hang of it eventually.
If they're there, the hotel getting spruced up or remodeled, I don't think that's going to help. I think they're still going to be there.
Yeah, and that might actually make it worse.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard stories where construction or, working on an old building that hasn't been, hasn't been attended to for many years will stir up the spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Would you stay at the Baker Hotel if you had a chance?
Absolutely not. That's a dumb question.
Oh, I thought you were all like Mr. Ghost Hunter.
Yeah, like I'm interested in going. I would go there, like I would visit there, but I would not stay there.
Okay.
I guess no, I wouldn't stay there. I would go there.
Okay, what if you could stay there after the remodel? Would you?
I don't know. I guess it depends on if it all depends on if you think something's gonna happen or you know something's gonna happen.
I guess the best bet would be to wait to find out if there's anything that's happened since the remodeling.
Maybe go and have a backup, like a second place you might want to stay.
Yeah, there you go.
That I could possibly do.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, finally, of the places that are haunted by the ghosts of brutal violence is the House of Death. The House of Death. That pretty much says it all, right?
It has a lovely ring to it.
Yes. Welcome to the House of Death.
Poor choice of word.
Okay, so there's something sinister living at 14 West 10th Street in Greenwich Village, New York. Exactly what it is, though, is up for debate. For over a century, the house has allegedly been the site of a string of macabre events, starting with rumors of a violent murder-suicide at the turn of the 20th century. Incidents supposedly were happening when actress and poet Jan Bryant Bartell occupied the house in the 1960s. Within weeks, she began experiencing events straight out of the Amityville. I always have trouble with this one.
Amityville.
An icy hand brushing the back of her neck, footsteps following her around the empty house, the smell of things dying, again with the death smell or suffering disease, whatever. One of her dogs would spend hours growling and bristling at an empty chair. Another dog died. Allegedly, the house's tenants were dropping like flies. Suicides, accidents, and murders claimed lives. The events shook Bartell so much that she called in a psychic medium, but that only made things worse. On the very first session, the medium went into a death-like trance and spoke of bodies buried beneath the floorboards. There was a young girl. I'm hearing myself back, Matt.
I hear you too.
That's weird.
I don't hear your echo. I just hear you.
Okay. Am I fine now?
Yeah. You never were unfine to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are you fine to you?
Yeah. So where was I? Okay. So the psychic medium shot open her eyes and declared that she was the spirit of a Civil War era woman whose husband had been killed. The medium then startled her small audience by screaming, "I will never leave." The incident was enough to send the Bartells running. Jan managed to publish a book detailing the creepy events just weeks before committing suicide. Wow.
Yeah. It's a bit intense.
So I'm guessing this experience living in this house left a mark.
Well, I don't know how many times it's happened, but I've heard that it's possible for a ghost or a demon to possess someone and force them to kill themselves because they take control of their body.
Oh
So if
yeah, I
they're
forgot
getting
that too.
dust in the houses, then they could just be that could be happening. It's not necessarily that they're driven nuts and kill themselves.
Okay,
Like the
all right.
demon had been pissed off that she released a book and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you now."
Yeah, letting the secrets out. Maybe he wanted it kept secret. Good point. All right, so that's just three of a few more. There's a few more on the list, and you can check out the link that we'll have in the show notes to check out more terrifying places haunted by the ghosts of brutal violence. I don't understand how people can stay in these places. Um, okay, fine, you may not be able to afford to leave, but maybe you could find somebody else's, like a family member or a friend that you could hang out and live at their house for a while until you get enough money up to sell, to sell the place or find a new place to rent.
Yeah, or people who just don't believe in ghosts and stuff might
Yeah,
stay there in an effort to prove it wrong. I guess you could
yeah.
say.
Or
That's
maybe they're in denial too.
yeah. There's definitely that possibility.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna be the guy that's gonna you know uh, play Russian roulette. I guess that's a bad choice of words. Um, staring down or standing down a ghost to see who blinks first.
But
You know,
it totally is a form of Russian roulette. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
you're just kind of taking a spin every day and hoping that it doesn't end poorly for you.
and hopefully the wheel doesn't fall on the.
Paranormal.
And that's what we talked about here on this episode of Weird World Weekly. Please leave us feedback by emailing galacticnetcasts@gmail.com. You can leave a voicemail by calling 805 328 3966. You can go to our website, gncasts.com, leave a voice message there as well. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, please leave a 5-star rating and a review kindly, because more of those will help us get more subscribers and listeners, and we love that. You can also check us out on Stitcher. We have a subscription page on our website with all the proper links to all the different places you can get us at gncasts.com. That's going to do it for this episode of Weird World Weekly. Matt, until next time, what do you want to do?
Keep it radical. I mean, keep it weird. Keep it weird, Dave.
Yeah, weird.
So
That's
close.
the
So close.
correct. All right. We will talk to you next time.
See you later.
All right. We're out. That is episode number 35.
Wait, 35? Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Getting up there.
Huh.
Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. Hang on. That's the wrong thing. So I think let's just do 2 episodes if you're fine.
Yeah, I'm super tired, but I would have done 3 had you wanted to.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was I? All right. Desktop podcasts. Weird World Weekly. World Weekly 35. I'm super tired as well. Slept well the nights.
I don't know what it is. Like, I've been going to bed really early, and I still can't get back to normal. Like, I was clearly up late this weekend, all weekend. I didn't sleep in or anything either. So,
You went to a music festival?
2 of them.
Oh, wow.
Tuesday, one Friday, and then we just went to a concert on Saturday.
Okay. Okay, hang on. I'm going to do something with the dock here just to make it easier. I'm going to move everything down. Which one should we do next? I kind of want to do the urban legend one. I'll although the family flees, the house is pretty timely. Like that's happened within the last few weeks. It's been
Uh,
in the news for a few weeks.
yeah, we could do that one. It's more recent, I guess. I
But you know
do.
what? What's that?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think we'll get as much discussion out of that one, just because it kind of goes along the lines of what we were talking about with the houses haunted by violence or the places.
Okay,
So how would you feel about doing the urban legends?
that's fine. Urban legends are always a good time. Although I have not heard of any of these, so
And they're really good, right?
yeah.
It's scary.
Um, I saw that you posted something about the live exorcism.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty excited to see that. So we'll have to talk about that when it gets closer.
Okay. Yeah, it's around Halloween
Yeah, it's the 30th.
of October, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You got a weird thing going with your mic will cut out once in a while. Maybe it's on my end, but I'm not sure.
I am not sure. Hmm. Did you tell it to stop?
I was thinking it.
Be like, hey, fucker, stop.
So Brad, one of Brad's episodes of his Adventure Party podcast,
Yeah.
he had this guy by the name of Patrick Rothfuss on.
Okay.
He's like an author, like a really famous author.
Mhm.
Well, somewhat famous. And that video, the video of that episode, has like 3,000 some views. Isn't that crazy?
What?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
He told
yes.
me that today. I'm like, holy crap.
Huh? I guess you get famous people on with a following, people will pay attention to it.
But it kind of pisses me off because we've had like Andy Weir on, the author of The Martian,
Yeah,
and
maybe after the movie comes out, you know what I mean? Because the movie with Matt Damon is going to be far more catching than the book.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? No one knew. I shouldn't say no one, but there was like a cult following for Chuck Palahniuk's books until Fight Club was made to a movie.
Yeah. Well, Andy's going to be back on the day before the movie comes out. So,
Right. I remember. When does that movie come out? November?
no, it's like I want to say September, October.
Oh, really?
Pushed back, was pushed forward or pushed.
Oh, October 2nd. So he's on the first, I assume?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you ready to do episode number 2
Hmm.
or episode number 36, I guess?
Second one for today. 36th of all time.
Yes. All right, so audio is recording. That's going on. Soundboard is there. All right. Okay. All right. So let's hit. Oh, we're already broadcasting, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to turn down my microphone and then I'll start the intro and we'll be off to the races. Stupid mouse. Hang on. All right. Hello. Welcome to Weird World Weekly, or WWW as I like to say it, a production of Galactic Netcasts. I'm the dark one, Dave Nelson. I don't know why I said it that way. And that's Matt Stein right there. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Dave.
Call me the dark one.
Dark one, Dave. Done.
Okay, that's
For you.
better. That's better. I will not spite you now. How you doing?
I'm good. I was a little strange encounter we just had, but that's kind of the whole purpose of this podcast. So
Yeah, Yeah, we get weird. This is a podcast where we get down and dirty with the weirdness. You know, weirdness, strangeness, the unexplained, the paranormal, the conspiratorial, the mythological, or anything else that fits into a weird, strange category. And we deliver one story per episode, and we talk about it in 15 minutes or less. And why don't you explain to our listeners how we determine what story we talk about?
Well, Dave generally gets a 50-foot running start while wearing a costume. Sometimes it's a leotard, sometimes it's a chicken costume.
Mhm.
He runs up while playing air guitar and takes a spin of the wild wielding wacky wield of white weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
And then wherever it lands is what we talk about. So
Yeah, just think of one of those crazy prize wheels that you see, like on a game show, like
Wheel of- think about.
yeah, Wheel of Fortune, exactly. So wherever that little tong, we have the metal things, and wherever the tong lands on, we have stories designated for each of those spaces, and that's the story that we talk about.
Mhm.
Before we get into this week's this episode's topic, got to remind everybody that you can check out our website, gncasts.com, for a couple of different reasons. You can join our community, aka the Galactic Collective, and become part of a greater army of listeners. Basically, we have 3 tiers, and each tier is a greater involvement in our Galactic Netcast community. It's pretty cool. And if you want to interact with our listeners and maybe even make decisions for the network, become a member of the Galactic Collective, and all the details at gncasts.com. Also, on the website, hang on one second. I lost my train of thought. There was something else I wanted to mention about the website.
Something important I was
Crap.
supposed to do today.
What?
There was
What?
something important I was supposed to do today.
I totally lost it. I have no idea what the other thing was that I was going to mention. The Weird World Write-Up is the blog version of this podcast that we put out a couple times a week with news along the lines of the mythological, the conspiratorial, the weirdness, the strangeness, the unexplained, and you can check that out also at gncasts.com. All right. Whew, I thought I was going crazy for a second. Are you ready to spin the wheel?
Yes, I'm excited. Well, do you have your chicken costume on?
Yes, and I will probably fall on my ass or hurt my arm while I'm doing this. That's just the kind of guy. So here we go. All right. So we've got these. Hey, hang on. I gotta stop the wheel for a second. Gotta mention. I forgot the stories. I forgot to read off the stories that are on the wheel. Okay, so here they are. Family flees $1.3 million home over watcher threats, bone-chilling urban legends, a field guide to cryptids from Europe and Africa, the 5 best and worst demons to get possessed by, and Lizard Man caught on film. All right. We resume with the regular broadcasting schedule of the wheel. All right. So whatever it lands on, that's what we're going to talk about. And it looks like, hey, bone-chilling urban legends. So that would be a
mythological
story. So here we go. 15 minutes or less. And let's start. Do you want to help me out with these? Like, I'll read one, then you read one, then I read one.
That's a vote of confidence that you know that you think I can read. Sure.
Well, I'll give you the shortest one, okay?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one is called Footsteps in the Snow. So follow along with me, shall you? Shall we? Or something. This urban legend involves a teenage girl who is home with her little sister while their parents were out of town. After watching some TV together, she sent her little sister to bed and then went back downstairs to watch more TV. Eventually, she got bored and started watching, or no, she got bored with what she was watching and turned it off. Then curled up in a blanket on the couch and watched the snow fall through the large sliding glass window in the living room. She'd only been watching for a few minutes when she saw a man walking toward the sliding glass door with deadly purpose. He started to pull something shiny out of his coat, and she dove under the blanket in terror. After a while, she pulled down the blanket and found that the man was gone. She called the police, who immediately rushed over to the scene to investigate. Upon examining the premises, one of the first things they noticed was that there were no footprints in the snow. And with the rate of snowfall, there was no way they could have been covered so quickly. Puzzled, the officers inspected the residence and noticed wet footprints on the carpet leading straight up to the couch where the girl had been sitting. Am I dramatic enough for you?
It reminded me of like old bonfire stories where you like hold the flashlight to your face and like when it starts to get slow, you raise your voice.
That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, exactly. So apparently the madman had been behind her the whole time, and what she'd been seeing was a reflection in the window. So he wasn't coming towards her from the front, he was coming towards her from the back.
Which I guess I want to know why he didn't do anything.
Well, I guess I don't know. I have no idea. We will never find out.
If the man is listening to this podcast, please send an email and let me know what you were trying to do.
Yes, that would be very much appreciative. If you know the guy, if you know a guy who knows the guy, even if you heard the story,
I need to know. I'm not going to be able to sleep until I find out what he wanted to do.
That's creepy, though, right? Like thinking creepy. Coming from the outside, but he was in the house.
That's like a classic, ghost story. The call was coming from the house the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to camping, so I can tell that story because it's an easy one to remember, right?
Yeah. Well, you could do it with anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You could change it up. That's what these are urban legends, so they may or may not be true. Who knows? And they're legends, and that means that they've probably been changed over time. So maybe it wasn't snow to begin with. Maybe it was something else. We may never know. All right. Why don't you take the second one, Matt?
The chilling discovery. There are multiple versions of the story, and most of them start with a young college girl who was studying late, thus spending a lot of time in the library instead of her dorm room. That's the urban legend that's scary, is that a college student was studying.
Yeah.
I remember
more like
I did none of that.
Yeah, more like at a party.
Yeah.
Probably someplace.
Yeah. She was so drunk she thought she was in the library.
Yeah.
During a late night of studying, she realized that she had forgotten something in her dorm room, so she decided to make a trip back to get it. When she opened the door, she found the room dark, but figured that her roommate was asleep or out studying like her. Not wanting to disturb her in case she was asleep, she left the light off, grabbed what she needed, and went back to the library. Upon returning to her room, she found her roommate laying on the floor with a slit throat. The worst part was the message written in lipstick on the bathroom mirror that simply read, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light?" Oh
my God. Not only is he a killer, but he's a smart-ass killer.
Yeah. But valid. I mean, had she turned the light on, she probably would have been dead too.
Yeah.
So she's just traumatized for the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm.
She will probably never turn the light on again.
Yeah, it's one of those what-if situations. What if you had turned the light on? You'd be dead. Yeah. She's never going to turn on a light ever in her whole life. They're always going to be off. Or on, I guess. By the way, these come from an article on our favorite website, listverse.com. We get a lot of our content off listverse.com. This is just 3 of 10 because they do 10. They do
It's
top
like
10.
all the hard stuff out of finding news stories. They just give you it in a nice, concise list.
Yeah, exactly. We have to do some kind of editing normally, but for the most part, they're pretty easy to read. Okay, let's do the third and final one off this list. It is the gas station attendant, and these are bone-chilling urban legends. So it was late, and a young woman, again with the young woman, driving through an unfamiliar area deep in the country. Her car was old and unreliable, and soon she realized she'd have to stop for gas if she didn't want to start walking. As luck would have it, she came across an old gas station a little further down the road. It was an old-fashioned station, the kind with an attendant who comes up to pump the gas for you, and something about it set the alarm bells ringing in her head. But she knew that she shouldn't or couldn't get much further without refueling. So she reluctantly pulled into the gas station and asked the attendant to fill up the tank. The attendant seemed nervous as he filled up her gas tank, but eventually he finished the job and came over to the driver's side to get the payment. She gave him a $20 bill, and he examined it carefully, then told her that it was a counterfeit. At this point, the alarm bells weren't ringing anymore. The attendant explained that he would have to take her back to his office and call his manager. Because the counterfeit would have to be reported to the bank. Once he had convinced her to come with him, he explained that the bill wasn't actually counterfeit. He'd gotten her out of the car because there was a man with a hatchet hiding in the back seat. Dum, dum, dum.
I have a feeling he's gone now.
Yeah. What's with these reluctant killers, man?
I think all urban legends have they take you to that point of suspense and then it stops, because if they had killed someone, you could prove it wrong, right or wrong, by being able to find documentation of it happening. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Had the guy, with the wet shoes killed the girl, there you would have been able to find some instance of something along the lines happening.
And what kind of story would that make? It's not a very,
But what these all do is they make you look twice. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they make you question things. Like you check your back seat every time you get in a car now. It's like people looking underneath their car because there's someone who's holding onto the exhaust pipe while you drive away or whatever.
Yeah.
Side
So
trip.
for those of you going out for a long drive tonight, make sure you have plenty of gas. If you're coming back to your apartment and you have a roommate, turn on the light or not. Maybe not.
Probably don't want to.
Yeah. So just lessons. Maybe these are just moral lessons.
Things to do.
Yeah. All right. So again, if you want to read more of these, they're on Listverse, and we'll have the link in the show notes of the podcast that you can click on and read the rest of them. Okay. So don't forget, you can subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. If you do both or either of those, you can leave some kind of review. I believe on Stitcher, you give a thumbs up or thumbs down. And then on iTunes, you leave 5 stars if you really, really like us. And we'd appreciate more 5 stars than not, because that will, encourage other people to listen to our podcast, and we get more subscribers, more listeners, and more feedback from you, which we also would like. galacticnetcasts@gmail.com. And you can leave your voice message by going to our website, gncasts.com, and clicking the leave a voicemail or voice message thing on the right-hand side. It's easy as that. Or just call our voicemail number, which is 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966. And, of course, all the good stuff and our other podcasts at gncasts.com. That's going to do it for this episode of Weird World Weekly. Matt, thank you for joining me again. Until next time, what do you want to do?
Keep it weird, Dave. That's what we always do.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Turn on the light.
My light is-
Look behind you. What's that? Ah!
Dick.
All right, hang on. Stupid mouse. It's my crappy mouse. Okay. Okay, this was episode. I gotta change the Hangout title because it's not. We're only doing 35 and 36. Don't want to be misleading, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So, so what's the time frame for your getting that first episode to me?
You already have it.
No, the first. No, you gave me the. No, I never got your. You gave me the first episode?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the audio promo.
Yeah, that I know I gave to you. But
Okay.
the first episode is in the Dropbox.
Oh crap! Shit.
Yeah.
I must have been drunk.
Yeah, the 25th at 9:52 a.m. I put it in there.
Okay. I never listened to